Do you know that your phones are actually just black mirrors that can be used to communicate with spiritual entities? Black mirrors have been used since the early 1500s for witchcraft, as they were believed to serve as portals to other realms. Historical figures like Hernando Cortez, who conquered the Aztec Empire in 1521, and Queen Elizabeth's astrologer John Dee used black mirrors to conjure visions, see into the future, and communicate with the dead. This practice, also known as scrying, involves gazing into a dark, reflective surface to gain insight into the future. But why does this even matter? Well, you're likely holding a black mirror right now in your hands, and you probably have multiple black mirrors around your house. Interestingly, the screens on our phones use liquid crystal display, or LCD technology. Coincidentally, traditional black mirrors were also made with liquid crystal. While the idea of using liquid crystals for black magic might seem far-fetched, there is a theory that frequencies from LCD screens could lead to physiological dysfunction of the organism. Please note that this is just a theory and not a proven fact.
Shalom, shalom. I hope you all are doing well. I'm blessed and I'm back again with just a quick video. You know, our phones, our TVs, our tablets, and any other device that constantly feeds us images, sounds, and ideas can be gateways into our hearts and minds. The Bible warns us to guard our gates because the eyes, ears, and even the mind are entry points into our soul. In today's world, these devices can act as modern gates, constantly feeding us images, sounds, and ideas. Dreams, too, are spiritual gateways, where what we've consumed can play out or be magnified. And just as we wouldn't willingly open the doors of our home to anything harmful, we're called to be careful about what we let through our devices, our conversations, and even our thoughts. When we fill our lives with the light of truth, our gates are strengthened. But when we're careless, we can unknowingly give access to things that don't belong. That's why the Most High calls us to be watchful, not fearful, but discerning, protecting the house of our hearts and mind.
Man claims to be able to see into a parallel dimension with old self.
Wow, this phone is old. Y'all see the phone that he's holding? Yeah, I remember it saying Jiffy on the peanut butter. What about you? Now it says Jif. I've been thinking about the Mandela effect and how strange it is. In my personal view, it's like more than just faulty memory or rebranding. Some of these changes, names, logos, entire phrases, are too specific and too widespread for everyone to misremember. And mind you, to misremember in the exact same time. I personally believe the Mandela effect may be connected to glimpses of a parallel dimension or some kind of spiritual portal. I mean, look at this. It's as if we're catching flashes of reality where things were different, and then waking up in a timeline where they've been altered.
This old phone shows a parallel dimension. So this person has an old phone that when they record with it is able to identify a parallel universe where a Mandela effect has apparently occurred. So many people remember Britney Spears having a plaid skirt in this video. But then when you look it up, every video shows her wearing a black skirt, except when you apparently record it with an old phone. And then there's the Oops, I Did It Again video where everyone remembers Britney Spears having a microphone attached to her face. But then when you look up the video, no microphone. But again, when this person uses that same old phone, there's clearly a microphone. And again, if it's never been, why are so many dolls and costumes using it? So many people remember Ellie Woods having a pink car and Legally Blonde. But apparently, no, she didn't. So let's use the phone. Looks like a pink car to me. Now, did Pikachu have a black tail or a yellow tail? The phone says black, but reality says yellow. Do you remember Looney Tunes with a U or Looney Tunes with an OO? Reality says U, but old phone says OO.
In the physical world, people call it misremembering, but in the spiritual world, it could be a sign of deeper shifts that we can't fully explain yet. Whether or not that's the case, the Mandela effect reminds me to stay rooted in truth. The Most High never changes. His word and his character are constant, even when the world around us feels like it's shifting under our feet. That's where our stability is.
Have you ever thought about why an iPhone has its name? Some people think when Apple says I, it literally means I. iPhones are watching us, listening to us, and seeing everything we're doing. Don't believe me? What's Siri spelled backwards?
Very interesting, because Siri spelled backwards is iris, and the iris is the colored part of the human eye that controls how much light enters, essentially the gate of the eye. In Matthew 6:22, the Bible tells us that the eye is described as the lamp of the body. And what we let through our eyes and ears determines whether we're filled with light or darkness. Siri, like other virtual assistants, is constantly listening and gathering data. And in a symbolic way, it represents an eye and ear into our private lives. When you flip the name, you get Iris, the eye's gateway. Whether intentional or coincidental, it's a powerful reminder. Our devices are not just tools, they are gateways. They see, hear, and store.
I regularly refer to my phone as a portal to hell. So, I guess I'm not terribly surprised.
What phone do you have?
An iPhone.
Yeah. The image on the iPhone is what?
It's an apple with a bite taken out.
Yes. Odd, right?
That is odd.
Yeah. Forbidden fruit?
I was walking through a mall just the other day, and I looked at the Apple store, and I looked at the logo, and I had that thought. I said, wait a second. Does that have
Somebody chose that logo.
Yeah.
It's subtle because you don't think of it right away, but then when you start to see all the evil that can be perpetrated through the phone, and the apps and the social media, all of it, we live in the most difficult time to be virtuous.
This is true, he's not wrong. But isn't it interesting that the very system he represents is also a gateway? This is why we must use discernment. The enemy can mix truth and error. Just because someone speaks the truth doesn't mean their foundation is pure. Guard your gates. Test every spirit.
We got to get it together, y'all. We got to get it together. If I'm going to be the last voice to keep standing up and saying something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to continue to do it. And if I got to use this internet to do it, then that's what I'm going to use to do it, because that's where everybody at. We've been in our phone for 20 years. All we do is look down at our phones. We've been in our phone for 20 plus years, bro. Looking down. I went to the chiropractor. The chiropractor said that my group of people that I grew up with, when we get 70 years old, we're going to have humpbacks. This is a chiropractor telling me that. He said because we just keep looking down. If we didn't have a phone, you wouldn't be looking at your hand all day, would you? I don't think you would. But you got something to look at. You need to look at life, man. Look at life. Look at what's going on around y'all, bro. This stuff is getting serious. It's hitting close to home, and other people are starting not to care no more. Let's get it together, y'all. Let's try to get it together, man.
Phones, TVs, tablets, and video games all have one thing in common. They're powerful gateways. What we watch, listen to, or interact with can shape our hearts and minds. Some games are harmless entertainment, but many are filled with violence, occult imagery, or dark themes that open up doors to fear, desensitization, or even spiritual influence. The Bible tells us to keep our hearts with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. That means we're responsible for guarding what comes through our eyes, ears, and even our imaginations.
Our phones, are actually a portal. For the very first time ever, we have access to nations and information that humanity has never. So it relocates us. Our phone is a doorway. Well, so are video games. I was recently did a meeting, and there was a young man who was just about crippled. He was bent over with severe scoliosis. And as we began to pray for him, he began to go through deliverance. Demons actually started to come out of him, and he began to straighten out. God totally healed him. And I asked him, I said, what happened? How did you get in this kind of condition? And you know what he said? He said that he started playing a video game, and he developed a video game addiction. And through this game, something entered him and then ended up crippling him. While the fire of God came on him, drove that thing out, and totally restored him.
Now, if you have a thought, you can literally be thinking about a bicycle and don't mention it, and you can open your phone up on Facebook, and what's the first suggestion you will see? A bicycle ad. And you wondering, I didn't talk about this, I thought it, why is it in my phone? Because these things are reading the brain waves and pattern. Your brain waves is a sequence. It's like a sequel. It's a mathematical equation. If you build some type of software to read that mathematical equation, then you can translate it into the exact image or English that you needed to be, and I can tell you what you was thinking. CIA been doing this on people for the longest. It's a movie called Eraser. Have y'all ever seen Eraser, where they had all this technology and can see through walls? And I think Arnold Schwarzenegger played in it, I believe. Go back and watch that movie. This movie is before I was born. I was born in 1988, and they was showing you this technology. So these things do exist, and it's all for greed and to drive a sale. So if I can take a phone, right, and my phone can read your brain patterns, or if I can get your genome sequence, there's no reason why, if you get a new phone and you really read through all of those Privacy Act laws, that you are giving over your thoughts, you're giving over your privacy, you're giving over your camera. They taking pictures. Every millisecond, this thing take about 3 pictures of me. And you can turn off the lights and use a UV light in it to show the phone taking pictures. The phone is constantly recording your conversation, seeing the things you like. The actual grid inside the phone, or the circuit breaker, is emitting a frequency, and it's giving you called bioloop feedback of your brain pattern waves. This thing is the actual snake that was in the Garden of Eden. This is the apple, and that's the reason why, if you look at the back of your iPhone, notice it's an apple that have been bit off, right? Well, have you heard of the apple deception in the Garden of Eden? The tree of knowledge, good and evil, they was told not to eat from that tree, and they ate from that tree. And once they ate from the tree, they had knowledge, they knew it all. And that knowledge was going to cause the actual collapse of man or mankind, because it was high technology. This the same type of thing. So this is the tree of knowledge, good and evil, and the high elites, or the serpent, trying to get us to eat from this forbidden knowledge, and we doing it every day. So your cell phone, man, is crazy work, man. This is a very, very spiritual harvesting device. And if you go through it, you can, all your dark secrets in here, everything that you think about, you put it in your phone, whether you physically do it or whether you mentally do it. So these things are harvesting our souls, our energy, our spirit. So this is the tree of knowledge, good and evil. So yes, your thoughts are not in your head. Your thoughts are above your head, connected to what you will call your electrical magnetic spectrum, or grid. And if you reach the frequency of that thought, you can grab it from the air. If you can grab it through your biological entity, there are synthetic, artificial things that act like you that can grab them too, such as your cell phone. Just like you can go into a cell block, just like your body have cells in them, just like an alkaline battery have rechargeable cells. That's the reason why it's called a cell phone.
What do you all think about this? Have you ever noticed how your phone seems to know what you're thinking? You think about a product or even something out loud, and then suddenly, boom, you see an ad for it. Most people just chalk this up to algorithms and microphones, but there's also a spiritual layer to this. In the natural, tech companies track our searches, locations, habits, and conversations to predict what we want. In the spiritual, this constant surveillance creates an environment where we're being subtly guided. It shapes our desires, it influences our thoughts, and it subtly nudges our decisions without us even realizing it. That's why the scripture says to be sober, be vigilant. The enemy walks about like a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. And today, he often uses digital platforms to flood our gates with distractions, temptation, and counterfeit answers. We can't control every ad we see, but we can control what we click on, what we meditate on, and which voice we follow. Phones aren't evil by themselves, but they are
This
powerful
phone
gateways.
is a mirror. Okay? This phone is a mirror, right? But what you have to understand is, have y'all ever looked at when you take a picture, you have to flip it in order for it to be more realistic? Y'all ever see that, right? So what you have to understand is that a lot of y'all are looking into a mirror that's not even showing you an accurate image. This phone is a mirror.
I got a lot of homies and I be trying to let them know, like, bro, your phone is tapped. And they always be thinking I'm playing, like I just made this stuff up. Like, bro, you better go look into this. If you know you just got a new phone but your battery keep dying fast, that's a bad sign your phone tapped. If you go inside the battery usage and you see some apps that say it's been running and you never downloaded them, that is a sign your phone tapped. If you done sent text messages to people and they said they never got them, bro, that's a sign your phone is tapped. You be on the phone with people and you start hearing other things interfering in the phone call, little noises and beeps. Yeah, your phone tapped, brody. If you hit pound 721 pound and your phone don't say disabled, your phone tap. A lot of people don't even know somebody could tap your phone through Telegram. And it don't matter if you don't even have Telegram. When a random number calls you, it's best to check the number then call them back. Never answer. Telegram uses your voice and then they can use it to...
Hear me out, because it's about to get deep. Y'all know how people be going to sleep on the phone, right? And when you go to bed, what's happening? You go into the astral realms. Like, it's not just some fictional land. You literally go into a different dimension outside the confines of this reality, outside of the matrix. And you living outside of that. You going to explore, like, different parts of the cosmos. So, with that being said, these phones, what are they? It's like a black mirror. Y'all literally watching me. I'm doing something completely different by the time y'all watching this video, but y'all watching me at a moment in my life where I decided I wanted to come and deliver a piece of information to y'all, right? So with that being said, it's literally like a portal. And say if you go to bed on the phone with somebody, that's a portal open while y'all in the astral. So it's to say that while y'all doing that, y'all can't link up, get to doing all type of stuff, going to explore all different types of places, long as y'all on the same frequency. But if you are doing that with somebody who not on the same frequency and you feel like they might got bad intentions, I don't know, maybe this video popped up and came across you for a reason, telling you maybe that ain't something you need to be doing. But I don't know, like, what y'all think about this? Because I know this download ain't just come from nowhere.
As I close this message today, remember this: our phones aren't just gadgets. That black screen in your hand can be a window, even a portal, to images, ideas, and influences. The eyes and ears are gates, and the phone is one of the most powerful modern gates we hold. Let's be intentional. Guard your gates, fill them with light, and don't let darkness slip in unnoticed. Use your phone as a tool for truth, not a door for deception. Thank you for watching. May the Most High Baruch and are blessed all deserving. And until my next video, Shalom.
Yeah, I've been thinking about eternity. This clay form is temporary and judgment is permanent. Forever. Build that relationship where y'all and keep flourishing, so I don't have to sink in the ship that the world's burning in. Make sure I'm set apart, connected to the Most High like webinars. They lost, seen them treat the church like seminars. It's with a heavy heart, I report. They've been feeding lies, that's no metaphor. Transgress the law, then claim man of God. Whole mindset is flawed. Question everything, like what you think you knowing. Do you keep the Sabbath holy? 7th day, that's Saturday. No work and play. Assemble, open Bibles, pray. All praises to the Most